An overnight thunderstorm had left massive puddles in the road, and Puff the tragic wagon was most displeased. Once or twice XDI Hillary Greene's ancient Volkswagen Golf spluttered and foundered and made alarming choking noises whenever traffic forced her to keep to the side of the road and plough through the mini lakes. She only hoped her feet stayed dry until she made it into Thames Valley Police HQ in the heart of Kidlington. She didn't fancy doing a day's work accompanied by the squelching soundtrack of sodden footwear. Although Puff didn't let her down, or break down, once she parked, she bent down to do a quick check of his undercarriage. She wouldn't put it past him to have rust down there just on the verge of falling off and leaving her feet dangling in mid-air. To her untutored eye, however, all seemed to be well. As she rose to a standing position, she felt a familiar scratching in her chest and began to cough spasmodically. This lasted for far longer than she would have liked, and for a moment or two, she had to lean against her car for support and wait for the latest session to pass. A quick glance around assured her that nobody was near enough to witness the show. Eventually the tickling sensation, along with the compulsive urge to cough, passed, and she reached into her bag to open a packet of Tic Tacs and popped one into her mouth. She'd found, over the past month or so, that keeping her mouth moist helped. With a sigh, she slung her capacious bag over her shoulder and headed towards the main building. A tallish woman in her late 50s, her chestnut-coloured hair, cut into a bell shape, was showing more and more signs of silvering, and she was still debating that age-old problem, or old-age problem, of whether to die or not to die. Did you bite the bullet and age gracefully, or say sod that and give the silver the finger? Since she had more things to worry about right then, however, she decided to leave the decision for another day. She was dressed in moss-green trousers, paired with a mint-green blouse and a dark cream jacket with moss-green piping. The trousers, she could feel, were just a little loose on her now. Years ago she'd had trouble with keeping the weight off, but the loss of her partner a while ago had changed all that. And the persistent cough that had plagued her since the summer had reduced her appetite even more. She nodded at the desk sergeant as she swept across the entrance foyer and headed down the stairs to the basement area, where the crime review team and other not particularly high-priority teams were forced to hang their hats. On automatic pilot, she made her way to the former stationery cupboard. Literally, it had once housed typing paper and other office equipment that had been her office since returning to Thames Valley on a consultancy basis working cold cases. Once there, she squeezed behind her tiny desk. There she turned on her computer and checked her emails.